All right. Should be up and running here. Got about 7 minutes until the close. All right. So let's go ahead and get started. Good afternoon. This is Ifan from the Strategic Day Trader, and this is your market wrap for June 24th, 2022. Q's up 3% and SPY up 2.89. IWM, just for fun here, also up 3%. All right, coming into today, we shifted off of the bearish bias yesterday as the hourly started the transition here. Here it was yesterday, right? Going right into the close, we broke. I was saying, until we get back below yesterday's low, trigger the daily sell setup, we're not going to be bearish, okay? And we got pretty impressive follow through to that hourly transition. I didn't expect necessarily to be all out bullish today, but the way that we started off, igniting bar, and we're closing again up here at the highs. So very interesting, right? We've seen the market have some nice pushbacks here, but what is the next pattern that we're focused on? What is going to be the indication whether or not the bottom is in or not? Will be the daily sell setup. That's going to be the focus for me. Now, really, when the market topped out, that was really the pattern that gave us the biggest leg down. And it's been a relevant pattern throughout this sell-off because we've moved with so much momentum and the basing has been kept to a minimum. The sell setup here, like you see right here, a run up into a declining 20 MA, a break beneath the previous bar's low. You can see the drop that we got. Okay, so we've done it quite a bit throughout this sell-off. Here we had a little bit more of a double top. It triggered the sell setup and then retested it and then came in. We had another sell setup right there, right? And then throughout the recent sell-off as well, okay, we had this sell setup right there off the declining 20. And then this one here, which did not work initially, but also couldn't follow through to the upside. Okay, so here's kind of an interesting distinction to make here. Okay, and this is what we'll be watching for next week. A break below a previous bar's low, right? That's what triggers the sell setup. We get the multiple bars up or multiple green bars, and then we trigger the sell setup, often declining 20 MA, but that's not essential. The sell setup can be a sell setup without a 20 MA right above. Okay, that's ideal. That's what we want. That's what makes for typically higher quality setups, just like this one here. Okay, but there's going to be variations of it as well. Some might be a little bit extended still. Some might actually break above and then break back below. Okay, but I think the one that we're getting here is a little bit more like the previous one. So we're getting a pretty impressive push back up. Okay, and so the sooner I think that we try to trigger the sell setup and come in may not be ready yet. Okay, and that's because of the way that the hourly has had a pretty nice move. So any move back down, we're going to be running into some decent hourly support. Okay, so if we get a lot of basing, a lot of grinding, I think it's harder for the market to get a nice swift move lower. Okay, so we'll be watching for that. I don't think we're going to get it on Monday. The only way that we would get the sell setup to trigger on Monday is if we actually gap down or immediately sell off, take out yesterday's low. That would be a pretty big move, but that would be just all out bearish, right? That would be, I think, no other way to really interpret that if on Monday we take it out. What I think is more likely is that maybe we move up a little bit more on Monday, but maybe a mostly inside bar, okay? And then Tuesday at the earliest, we trigger the sell setup. That's my expectation, okay? So for right now, we've had a nice move up, multiple bars up. Okay, going to be neutral going into Monday. We've run up. We've got some resistance up above, multiple bars up. So I'm not expecting fireworks on Monday. Maybe a more neutral day, maybe a more inside day. Might be a little bit on the sloppy side because we just had, wide range bar. And often when we get these wide range bars, the market takes a day or two to digest them. Okay? So that's the expectation, neutral on Monday, and we were well aware, coming into yesterday, we knew that if we took out the highs, no longer bearish, that the hourly was trying to do this transition. So, these moves here haven't been hard to really follow, at least to anticipate. We had that weekly sell set up, and then we said, well, here it is. Once that triggers, bearish, had a pretty big move down. And then, the smaller time frames started to turn up. And, I said yesterday too, if we take out yesterday's high, I don't think this FOMC move up is going to be that much of a problem. I think it'll go right through it, and it really went through it and much further. More bullish than I would have expected even. So, but we've had a nice move. We're going to be running into some resistance. Very interesting spot here on the Qs daily here, right into this flattening 20 MA. So I think Monday neutral. I wouldn't be surprised if we move up a little bit more first, but we won't get that sell set up until later in the week. Okay. All right. Let's go over the play from today. Really, for me, it was just the camp. I thought this was the best gap down. Market gapping up. This was gapping down. So that's often what we want to focus on. All right. And just a pretty basic pattern right out of the gate. It was one that I thought, it's pretty straightforward. Try not to overthink it. And especially what we've seen, and I've missed out on a couple times this week, was that we've seen these patterns in the morning. I think DB was more of a high-low there at the open. Here's the 5-minute. But nice gap down and basically nice all-day trend. There it is on the DB. And then there's a breakdown right there. That's not too bad. Breakdown right there. We saw it on the AXU as well. AXU the day before. So, some breakdowns there. These are pretty late in the trend, so they aren't ones that I would be really looking to play. But we saw some pretty nice follow through to some of these gap downs. Some pretty nice trends. So that was my expectation for the camp. I thought it was the best gap down today, and did give a decent setup there right at the open. All right. The challenge I think on this one was that the spread did get a little bit wide for something that was only $5. Sometimes you had 6, 7. I think at one point at the open it had like 10-cent spread. That's a lot for a $5 stock, but otherwise, yeah. Pretty decent downtrend here. They did just get tagged out of it. Oh yeah, over $5. Just because it's the end of the day. All day trades are for me after 3:30 considered at the target. So that's fine. Yeah, but that was not too bad. And you could have because of the spread, I didn't want to get too aggressive with it. But also there was a decent pattern right here. So if you didn't catch the one at the open, which actually had a bigger stop. You actually had a tighter stop here. That worked out okay. So a couple opportunities there on the camp. Nice gap down. These are the reasons that we play gaps. Clearing multiple red bars. Relative weakness. Relative weakness not only because it's gapping down when the market's gapping up, but also getting sold right at the open when the market's shooting up. So that tells you, people want to get out of this thing given whatever the news was. I don't know what the news was. But that the selling pressure was going to happen, whether the market was strong, weak, flat. Because you look at what this thing did, just getting sold here while what was the Qs doing at the open? Right? Running up. So extreme relative weakness. So that was good. Okay? Yeah, I think, still a few weeks off from our earnings season. Once we get there, these will be at least few every day. So that'll be nice to look forward to. But until then, yeah, make sure that try to take only really high quality stuff. I thought the scalps the last couple of days were a little bit more challenging. A lot less to do and a lot less movement. Just a lot more kind of like break even scalps. I thought, give you a couple cents and then take one of them away. A lot of moves like that. So that's why, this week I noticed some nice follow through on the gaps. So we'll pay a little bit more attention to that next week. All right, guys. Hope you had a nice week. We'll be back at it on Monday, and I'll talk to you then. Have a good weekend.